Okay, hello everybody. We are here to present Writ Large, which is the on-campus magazine. And it falls under the mass media, but the easiest thing that I can give a comparison for this is like we usually publish what you would see in the New Yorker. What? Screen paused? Why is it paused? Did the slide move?
Nope.
Okay, there we go. So the Writ Large is a nonfiction magazine that publishes academically researched op-eds at this university. And again, like I said, the closest comparison that I can give this magazine to is the New Yorker. Material that I would typically find in the New Yorker, which includes op-eds, art, and photographs.
So what we are can basically be broken down into three categories. One is themes. So we publish once every semester. Of course, the upcoming year is going to be a little bit different. We'll go more into that further down the line. But we generally have a very broad theme that we would like articles to fit into. These themes can be flexible. You don't have to base the entirety of your article around them, but during the editing process, we might ask you later to connect back into some way about how your ideas in your article connect back to this larger theme that we're trying to weave into the entire magazine. We're looking for opinions that have been well researched and have plenty of backings. So we want to see citations from credible sources and just something really well-rounded thoughts and ideas. And then finally, if you're not necessarily a writer, that's fine, because we have a variety of different people that we work with on a volunteer basis. We're made up of writers, of course, who write the articles themselves, editors. Oftentimes, if you're unable to commit to writing what's essentially a short research paper, we have editors who will accept research papers and follow criteria for editing them and send them back to us. We have several graphic designers who work on the magazine, artists and illustrators. So for every article, we have a few pieces of art that go with it. And so artists can be people who get a list of articles and pick one that they want to work on. Or if you have a piece of art and you want to submit it to us, or a photo and you want to submit it to us, we can kind of fit it into the magazine somewhere.
Okay, so this is me. I am the editor-in-chief. I am the rising junior. I do biology and political science. I have my own website there, and you can always contact me at my email if you have any questions, because I have worked in USG, Writ Large, and the mass media. Okay.
I'm Jana. I'm a rising sophomore, not a junior. My major's oh, this is Fareen's slide. It's okay, I'll just talk over it. I don't know why it's like that. I'm currently international relations and exercise and health sciences, and I'm looking to switch into nursing. I do not have a website. Outside of Writ Large, I work at the John F. Kennedy Presidential Library and Museum, and I will start work as a mental health worker at an inpatient psychiatric facility in Brookline. My email is jonatrehan2001@gmail.com, and we'll edit this before we upload it so you have the correct information.
Mm-hmm. Sorry about that. I'm currently working on the website and I forgot to fix it. But this is the process for writing for us. Hello, Mark. You just joined us. Can you hear us? If you want, you can drop in the chat if you can hear us.
Do we have people? We have people.
So this is the process for writing for us. Basically, what you do is, especially if you're writing, you pitch us an article that relates to the theme. We'll get into the theme later, but each semester we have a theme. And we traditionally ask that writers follow this theme and have written articles that follow this theme. So to start, when we announce the theme, what we want you to do is we want you to pitch us an article, and you can DM us your article idea, or you can email it to us. And once we approve the theme, you have around 2 weeks to write the article. Is my voice lagging?
No.
Okay. So you have around 2 months to write the article, and which is plenty of time. And we're pretty flexible if you need more time or article in early, that's perfect as well. Let us know if you will do your own art or require an artist because each article is accompanied by a piece of art or a photo. And once we receive your first draft, we will send it to our editors for revision. And once they have edited it, that's within a week your revisions are due. And then basically once you submit your second draft in, you're basically done because the second draft is edited by me and Jana, the EIC and the managing editor. And then once we have edited the second draft, like your task is basically done once you hand in the second draft. Because from there we take the article and we design the whole layout, the whole magazine layout. We get in touch with artists for art, and I do graphic design for the magazine, and we also handle promotions to your article. We'll have quotes posted to our Instagram handle that promotes your article, and we also handle the release parties because when we're on campus, we traditionally do a magazine release party for every edition.
Okay, so if you fall into any of the categories that aren't writer, if you're an artist, then what you want to do is you want to send us an email at writlargemag.umb@gmail.com. And essentially, we have what we do is we gather a list of pitches, and if you feel particularly inspired by one and want to create a piece of art around that pitch, that's your article that you're creating the art for, and then you have a certain deadline to get that art into us so that we can format it properly to match the article. If you're an editor, you want to do the same thing. You want to email us and we'll send you an article on a list of criteria and guidelines on how you want to edit it. And then you typically have 2 weeks to get that back to us. Graphic designers are a little bit different. Again, send us an email and then we can go from there, or DM us on Instagram. And photographers, you can either go the route of artists, where we send you a pitch and you go out and take photos that match the theme of that particular article, or you just send us your best photos and we'll find a place where they fit in the magazine.
So this is the current theme that we are working on. The theme is the year 2020, Self versus Society. And basically what we want is your story. I anticipate that there will be a lot of personal editorials in this edition of the magazine. So typically what we would want is your opinion backed up by a lot of facts. So opinions that are cited a lot, but of course, when you're writing a personal editorial, you don't have to back it up with facts because it would be your own personal thoughts. So any kind of format is okay for this edition. We just ask that you cite things that need to be cited. And basically, what this entails is a variety of things that you can write about, from the pandemic to systemic racism to protest to the conflict between individualism and collectivism. You can talk about mental health, and you can talk about how this year saw a lot of revolutionary changes in respective fields, like education for one. So we always try to keep the theme really, really broad. So anything you pitch usually flies. So this is the theme for this year. And if you want to write, or if you want to do art, just send us an email or DM us on Instagram and we can add you to our roster of contributors. And again, if you're a photographer, all you have to do is just email us the photos you have and we'll try to match it with the article. Okay, so moving on to the method of how to approach the
format, we just ask that you do include them with your article, and then we will get that out to an editor. The editor will get it back to us within 2 weeks, and then you as the writer will have to make revisions to the article based on the suggestions that an editor makes.
And so here are examples of previous publications that we have had. So on the left is the Millennial Map, which is the latest edition that we worked on. This is the cover, and in the middle we had the edition before the Millennial Map, which was Handprints and Footprints, the Human Impression. You can see that they're on stands in the campus center. And then on the right is an example of a release party invitation we would send out for any magazine release. We weren't able to have this release party because, of course, school moved to remote learning. So, but this is an example of the release party invitations that we typically have. And so these are examples of what your article would look like. These are just the layout that we do. We'll usually take one pull quote and we'll put it on the main page, and we usually pick a color scheme as well. So in this article, the topic was corals in the dire new marine world. It fell under the millennial map theme, and like as you can see, we color coordinated purple. This was a photo that we put in. So we really do try to keep each article looking really unique and different from other articles. And then here we have an example of another article that fell under the millennial map. And we have our color scheme, and then we have the text. And again, I try to keep I do the layout, so I try to keep the layout really different. And here is an example of another layout with a photo. I usually, depending on the article, we can do photos as a full page spread or even like a full spread that spans 2 pages. Here's another example where we had an artist contribute. So in this case, the artist was sent a summary of the article in question, and he was tasked with creating the art. And we do allow a lot of artistic freedom. So like as much like we'll send you a summary of the article that you were assigned. And from there, like it's literally your choice of how to make the art. And then here's another layout. And then here's the one that Jonna really loves.
I really like the art for this piece. Every time I see it, I'm like, Farine, I love the art for this piece. And she says, you say that every time you see it. And I'm like, I know, because I really love the art for this piece.
Mm-hmm. So
that's how that conversation goes.
Yep. And this, again, like I mentioned, we tried to keep like a color scheme going. So this was red and black. And I do try to get really creative with layout. So I will always ensure that your article looks really unique compared to others. So this was another article that I did, which is why I kept the same fonts and everything. But you can also do it in one article as well. And this was Jonna's article. So in this case, she had featured a professor of psychology in her article, a primary course. And you can do that as well. Like we really support that. Any citations and any sources you want to use, which is perfectly fine. She did an interview in this article and it turned out really, really well.
Thank you.
And follow us on Instagram because this is where we announce everything. This is our handle. We're trying to expand to other social media platforms. I know Jonna wants to do TikTok, but for now,
I think it would be so great, but I'm gonna wait till we're back in the office
so she can roast me. Which, speaking of, once we are on campus, feel free to visit our office anytime. It's quite a beautiful office.
It is a beautiful office. I do love our office, although the TikTok is mostly gonna consist of me roasting Freen's decorations.